Welcome back to Ringside Ramble. It's me, Niall, bringing you all the latest news, views, and breakdowns from around the world of professional boxing. In this one, I'm going to be giving my preview and prediction for a really fascinating fight this Saturday night in Orlando, Florida, as Tim Tszyu, the former world champion, makes his return to the ring following his sole career loss as he takes on the very dangerous Russian Bakhram Murtazaliev for the IBF super welterweight world title. Yeah, the Carib Hotel, I believe it's called, in Orlando, Florida. And I cannot wait for this fight. I really can't. From the moment it got announced, I thought it had fight of the year potential. And that's not to exaggerate. I think both men's styles make this absolutely must see explosive watch. I really do. Of course, Team Zoo on the comeback trail following his loss and his upset loss to Sebastian Fundora, where he lost the WBC and WBO super welterweight titles. An absolute bloodbath of a fight. Of course, Team Zero had success early on until that gruesome cut caused by the elbow of Sebastian Fundora opened up a nasty gash right in the hairline of Team Zero, and it changed the fight. To be honest with you, it changed the fight. The blood flow was horrendous. It impeded the vision of Team Zoo. That's taken nothing away from Sebastian Fundora. He fought an excellent fight himself from that point on to kind of negate Team Zoo and kind of compound the misery for him following the cut. But I thought the cut was an absolute game changer. It really was. Of course, Sebastian Fundora, a late replacement for that fight, a late stand-in, and Sebastian Fundora with his height, his range, his speed, his power is hard enough with a full camp. Never mind on short notice, but Team Z was having great success early until he got that horror cut, and it just changed the fight. He dug in well, heard the final bell, but rightly lost a decision in an upset win and lost his title. So he's on the comeback trail here. And they don't come much harder than Bakhram Murtazaliev. You know, of course, Team Z was scheduled to return in August in California on the Riyadh season undercard against Virgil Ortiz, which would have been an absolutely incredible fight. But that cut still hadn't properly healed, understandably, by how kind of severe it was. So yeah, that had to be postponed. Unfortunately, but he's back now. He's back against Bakhram Murtazaliev, and Murtazaliev, as I mentioned, is as dangerous as it gets, to be quite honest with you. He's a really, really exciting, explosive fighter, huge puncher, you know, aggressive, in your face, quick. He's got comparisons, and I can see where they're coming from. Although, you know, I hope people understand what I'm saying, that he's comparable to Artur Beterbiev in a way, in his style, and his aggression and his power, and he just throws every shot with bad intentions. You know, he throws shots to finish fights. You know, he mean puncher, quality fighter, speed, has the speed. Yeah, it just never stops coming. And he has dynamite in his hands. He's such a big puncher. So this is this is as dangerous as it gets for Team Zoo. It really is. At the best of days, never mind coming off such a shock defeat where he suffered such a bad injury. You know, absolute credit to Team Zoo. You know, Team Zoo. I'm a huge Team Zoo fan. I really am. I tipped him to be the best super welterweight in the world. Pre Fundora, he was. Um, there's an argument to be made that he could still be. Of course, Terence Crawford up there now is really competing for that spot and probably has that top spot after the Matrimov fight. But as I said, that cut, if it wasn't for that cut against Sebastian Fundora, that changed that fight, and he probably would have beaten Sebastian Fundora if it wasn't for that cut, and still be the top dog at 154 pounds. So, you know, I just think he's such a well-rounded fighter. You know, he's composed, he's such good balance, he's very technically sound, fast, can hit hard. Yeah, he's just so versatile for me, Team Zoo, and I just love how I love his mindset. I love the composure, as I mentioned, and I think he still is destined for the top if he can. There's two big questions to answer here for Team Zoo, and if he's not fit to answer them, if he's not fit to pass those questions, background Murtazaliev will find them out and will probably stop him. The first question is how well has that cut healed? It's such a bad cut. We mentioned he was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz in August. The cut hadn't healed yet. Understandably, it was very soon after the Fundora fight. But sometimes we've seen it before when boxers get bad cuts like that, they rarely heal at all. They come back for fights and they're prone to opening up so easily with that kind of scar tissue that can build up there. So I think, that could be a real problem for Team Zero, and I'm so curious to see how well it holds up against Murtazaliev on Saturday night. There's also a question of, how much has that loss taken out of Team Zoo? We've seen fighters really struggle when they're on top of the mountain and lose to come back and kind of, still have that confidence in themselves and that hunger. But I think Team Zoo, that's not too much of a concern for me. I think Team Zoo, as I mentioned, I love his demeanor, I love his mindset, pre or post Fundora, I really do. I don't think he's the type of fighter who will let himself, who will kind of that loss will ruin him. I think he'll be eager to come back and get that back, get those titles back and get back in the ring and right that wrong. He proved the way who he was going to fight after Fundora, Virgil Ortiz. Incredibly dangerous fight, and now probably the most dangerous fight you can come back to on background Murtazaliev. He's jumping straight back into the fire, which is incredible to see. You know, a lot of fighters who come back and take quote unquote softer touches to get themselves back up to speed, especially after such a bad injury. But Team Zero now, Team Zero's coming for all the smoke, coming for all the heat against the IBF champion, the big punch and IBF champion, Bakhram Murtazaliev. I think, to be honest, to give a prediction for this one, I think Team Zoo should be too versatile in the end. For Murtazaliev, too much tools to his belt. As I mentioned, he's one of the most well-rounded fighters you'll see in terms of balance, shot selection, IQ, fundamentals, hand speed, power, all that stuff. Team Zoo seems to do excellently well. But if he's lost a step since Fundora, or if the injury still hasn't healed, background Murtazaliev will beat him. If he really will, there's no question in my mind. But I think Tim Tszyu will be back at his best this Saturday night, and I think he'll win a decision against Murtazaliev. I was leaning between late stoppage and decision, but I think a decision, and he'll edge out a decision in a really exciting fight. I said it over on X today. I think it has the potential to be the fight of the year if their styles gel the way I expect them to gel. I expect it to be a war, but I think Team Zoo, as I mentioned, apart from punch and power, there's nothing Murtazaliev does better than Team Zoo. So I think that will prove the kind of game changer on Saturday. Team Zoo is just a level above, or maybe a couple of levels above Murtazaliev when it's all said and done. So yeah, I'm going for a Team Zoo decision. Let us know what you think in the comments. How excited are you for this fight? How excited are you to see Team Zoo back? Do you think he will beat Murtazaliev? Do you think Murtazaliev will spring an upset and knock Team Zoo out? Let us know what you think. And can Team Zoo get back to the top of the mountain at super welterweight and beat Fundora in a rematch, beat the likes of Terence Crawford even in a huge fight down the line? Let us know what you think. As always, don't forget, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. Still trying to grow, so any sort of help will be incredible. Just a boxing fan with a passion who loves talking about the sport with anybody you can. So yeah, get involved in the comments down below. Give us a subscribe, like the video, and follow us over on X. Always great to chat with as many of you as I can over there and engage about boxing and give our wide range of opinions. So I'd really appreciate if you could help us out over there. And yeah, until next time, speak again and take care.